I'm going to tell you a number of the things that I actually worked out that are really the points I considered when I was thinking, why is advice and criticism so destructive to relationships? And I'm talking about friendships. And of course, there's times when you're going to be a technical expert in something, and people may come to you and ask you for advice. It's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. There's times when maybe you are a person who is in leadership, and it is up to you to show people how to best do certain things and whatever. It's not what I'm talking about. When we are just giving advice and we are criticizing and we are standing on our soapbox or pedestal, the first thing we are doing is that we are assuming superiority. It is so self-serving when someone is sitting in front of you and telling you a story of whatever wretchedness they are experiencing, whatever the situation that they're experiencing, and you go straight to showing how superior you are because these are the things that you would do with this. It's actually self-serving. It's like you're trying to be Miss Always Right or Mr. Right. You know, you have the best advice. You know the right thing. You have a solution for everybody. This is where that thing comes from, where there's people that have advice for everyone, have great advice for everyone, never themselves. But it's because they are blind with one eye. They can see other people's issues with this eye, but this eye cannot see their own reflection in the mirror. It can also impede communication. We already talked about that. You know, it's very difficult to offer advice or criticism and listen at the same time. You know, when you are the kind of person who's always ready with a word of advice, worthy with a word of this and not that, do this, don't do that, you're listening for keywords and you're judging way too early, and then you're talking a lot more than it would be helpful for you to listen. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Because when we give that advice, sometimes a person is coming up to you, and a lot of times I've seen this applied when it's talking about relationships between men and women, that as women, we can be sitting there and talking about a problem ad nauseum, but we are actually, it's like a brainstorming session where we're outlaying this and we're looking at it at different places and ways and all of that. And it's common for when a woman goes to a man and they telling her, I mean, and you know, she's telling all of these stories and everything, for him to look for a way to fix it. My friend, you don't need to fix everybody's problems. I absolutely do not need to fix everybody's problems. You can have some answers, and maybe after listening and holding space and asking relevant questions and letting this person actually tell their entire wretched story, you can then say, would you like me to give you advice, or are you venting? You know, like that kind of thing. You can absolutely, you know, give them the opportunity to accept or not your advice, to accept or not your constructive criticism. But if you really just patuga and say it, chances are it's not a teachable moment. It's what's it called? A venting moment. They're just talking to you. Okay, I want to take this moment to say hello to everybody that's on here. I've seen Luanda, I've seen Pumla. Thank you, Luanda, for the heads up about the sound. Pumla, yes, people do talk too much. And I mean, my friend, you know that I am one of those too. And I hope this show is not that kind of advice that is unsolicited. But I do hope that at the right time, for the right person, it is exactly what you need. You know, because we are here to better life. Why it impedes communication is because it's like bursting someone's bubble. They're full. They want to just, you know, tell you what's going on, and then now you're like, yes, now you've changed from being the person that I came to talk to, maybe for a shoulder or an ear, and now you've taken the stage. Well, this is how it actually can be harmful to a relationship. It also stops others from learning and growing by robbing them of their own decision. We talked about how people will buy into a solution much quicker when they feel they came up with it. But if they've actually just received it when they were not in a teachable moment, when they were not in a moment of readiness for hearing that advice, you're not going to hear it. But even if maybe it's your younger sister and they do exactly what it is that you said they must do because they respect you and they take your advice, then they have not learned anything. If it fails, you are to blame. If it succeeds, you are to praise. So it's robbing that person, disempowering a person by helping. In fact, it's pretty much enabling them to do things without taking responsibility. Yeah? And of course, let's not forget, it can create such frustration and break down a relationship. I mean, if they don't like your advice or your criticism, they can find it a bit judgmental. Like, I was just starting to tell you, I was in the first verse of my lament song, and you went ahead and just like gave me what you think and what you would do, and put yourself in my shoes before you even understood what size these shoes are, what they smell like, what in fact it is that bothers me about them in a full way. So frustration from yourself as well, the giver of such advice. Because then you're going to be like, you know what, don't tell me your ish, because I will give you advice, you're not going to do it. You're just going to do the opposite of what I was saying. And let's not forget, guys, that's sometimes exactly the idea. I've seen that with some of our younger sisters and our younger brothers. They're like, oh, my sister's so uptight. If she would have turned right to sign, I should definitely turn left. It can be so frustrating because you are thinking you're being helpful, meanwhile they're actually just using it as a signpost to say, okay, it's most likely the other direction. Here's an important thing for me, as a person who likes to connect with others. Giving advice or offering criticism can be a missed opportunity to show unconditional love and just hold space for a person. Some of the conversations that have changed my life a lot have been those that the person didn't offer anything, didn't say anything. They just sat there and just lovingly looked at me in a way that says, you keep him, take all of it, bring it out, all out. Let's hear what is ailing you, what's within you, and just held that space. And let's face it, we pay people. We pay psychologists, counselors, and other people to listen to us. They are strangers. They are not invested in our situation. And the reason that it works is because they really just hold space for us to find our way to our own answers. We talk until we have doubled back to where the answers really lie, which was always inside us. It grows the confidence of those around us when we hold space for them, show them unconditional love, be non-judgmental as they tell us about the wretchedness of their souls, and we just listen, and hear them out and let them arrive at, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And that's often what happens. You listen to someone long enough, they will leave feeling like you have given them the best gift ever. And that is the gift of your time and your unconditional love, holding space for them while they go through whatever it is that is happening. We've got more comments here. Rashida says, some people listen for their own turn to speak. That is so true, so true. Here's another thing. A lot of times we give advice or we offer criticism to hold others around us to our ideals. How many times, friend, have you said to a friend of yours, oh, no, you leave that man. I you are so in a chomi. No. Women in our family don't take that kind of nonsense. Remember that no matter how much you share with the person you are wanting to give advice or criticism to, they may not necessarily share all of your ideals. They may not necessarily subscribe to all of the channels that you like to watch. So listening is much better advice than talking. And then, of course, it's a missed opportunity to be part of someone's story as it unfolds on their own terms. There's something nice about that friend who will see you a month later and say, Chomi, so what did you end up doing about that situation in whatever? And then listen to what you did and what you said. It's like they're actually getting to walk your path with you. What is the point of friendships, of relationships? It's company. It's witnessing. It's that person who really experiences a part of you in a way that someone else who may have not spent that 20 minutes, 1 hour, 5 minutes with you gets to experience you. It's an opportunity to look into the window of somebody else's life and really just be part of their story. Be a supporting act when someone else is staring. Every single one of us is staring in our own lives. So when you are being staring and you are telling me your story, that's still part of you being staring. Me as a supporting act, my job in your story is to listen to you. When I come up with a situation that requires your support, I hope that you will hold space for me and be a good supporting act. Go with me when I need to go. We joke about that friend that if I woke you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I was like, friend, bring a shovel, let's go. Are you that friend who would do that? Or are you that friend who would say, if you ask for a shovel, it's probably, and you waste 20 minutes of time that we could have used to be effectively solving this problem. You see? Which friend are you? It's a ridiculous example, that one. Okay, so let's just have a look here. Last week we had a winner of our competition with the earrings, and that is Quincy Jones in Cape Town. I haven't shown you the earrings today, but I will. And she won a pair of these. I will get in contact with her just to see which one she actually chooses, and then of course send a pair to her.